Alright, welcome back to a new Warcraft Rumble video. Today we're going to be looking at the best PvP talents for the Horde faction. I'll be ranking the talents 3rd through 1st in order to see which talent is the most useful. A reminder that these are all just my own opinion and your opinion may vary based on your own experience. With that out of the way, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe and enjoy the video. So starting off we have Chain Lightning. And at number 3, it's Storm's Reach, drastically increased jump distance between targets. This talent isn't really needed as Chain Lightning already has a fairly generous radius, and the other two talents increase the functionality of the spell more than Chain Lightning's Storm Reach does. At number 2 we have Reverberation, it can be cast a second time. This talent allows you to be more flexible with your AoE and potentially zapping the same group of enemies twice in a row. It also has some synergy with spell-based leaders such as Jaina or Blood Mage Thalnos. At number 1 we have Brilliant Flash, on deploy stun enemies for 1 second. I believe this talent provides the most utility of the bunch by being able to reset your opponent's attacks. It allows you to win fights you otherwise would have lost. Next up we have Execute. At number 3, it's Overpower, knock enemies away from the cast location. I haven't really found a great use case for this one yet besides bumping units into a bit more favorable clusters to be able to AoE them down. Next up we have Killing Spree. If an enemy is killed, the next Horde mini costs 1 less. This one's obviously situational, but it can work great in a Horde deck such as one you run with Karen Bloodhoof in it. At number 1 we have Bloodthirsty, Bloodlust allies within spell area for 10 seconds. This talent basically guarantees you'll win the fight, as a cluster of units will already be weakened by the Execute. The Bloodlust just helps you finish them off in a hurry. Next up, for Bat Riders number 3, we have Fiery Surplus. Accidentally leave vials on the ground, burning nearby enemies that touch them. This one, while not bad, is pretty inconsistent in where you actually want the AoE to go off. Most of the time it will be after a fight that has already happened and just cleans up a bit. At number 2 we have Flaming Pitch. Flaming Pool reduces enemies' speed by 30%. This one's not bad either as it keeps enemies in the Flaming Pool longer, therefore granting more DPS to your Bat Rider. At number 1 we have Enchanted Vials, increase the size of the Flaming Pool by 30%. I believe this talent to be the best because covering a greater area allows you to hit more enemies than before, and enemies will naturally stay in the AoE longer, just like the previous talent does. For Darkspear Trolls number 3 we have Serpent Sting, gain poison. This one seems to just have too little impact most of the time because you're using your troll to take out low HP enemies, so you don't really need the poison. Number 2 we have Headhunting, on kill, increase attack and movement speed by 10%, stacks to 50%. This talent's pretty good. It allows your troll to effectively power up by cleaning up low HP units to become a real DPS threat through the buffs. At number 1 we have Big Bad Voodoo. Regenerate 10% HP every second. I love this talent because it effectively makes your Darkspear Troll a lot tankier, and allows him to go from fight to fight at full strength. Next, for Goblin Sappers number 3 we have Crude Gunpowder. On death, burn at nearby enemies. I find this talent to be pretty low impact because a lot of the time your Goblin Sappers will be taken out from range, therefore you don't get the benefit from the talent. Number 2 we have Rocket Powered Turbo Boots. Move twice as fast and gain the fast trait. I quite enjoy this talent as it makes your Sappers a lot more consistent in getting to your actual target in time, and it leaves less time for your opponent to react to them. For number 1 we have Extra Boom, deploy an additional +1 Goblin Sapper. This is a great talent as it effectively increases your threat level of your Goblin Sappers. Combining this with the Stealth spell is a great way to get huge damage on the enemy's tower. For Ogre Mage's number 3, I have Ignite, burn the enemy targets. This talent is just effectively more DPS for your Ogre Mage, and it's definitely not a bad talent to have taken. For number 2, I have Avarice. Gain Bloodlust when bloodlusting an ally. This talent is great because it both increases the DPS of your Ogre Mage by 33%, but also increases his movement speed. And as you'll basically be always pairing this unit with a tank in front, the uptime will be very high. At number 1, we have Frost Firebolt. Gain Frost. Since your Ogre Mage deals AoE damage, this is a great way to frost entire packs of enemies at once, which is something no other unit can accomplish. Number 3 for Frostwolf Shaman is Lightning Mastery, ranged attacks chained to 3 nearby targets. Well, not a bad talent, typically you're using a Frostwolf Shaman for their heals as opposed to their damage, so you don't really need the extra chain lightning. Number 2 we have Earth Wall Totem. Once per deploy, place a totem that partially heals a nearby tower or base. This is a unique effect that can help counter Unbound or Spell Spammers by topping off your towers so they don't fall. At number 1 I have Earth Shield, gain armor to a nearby ally. Ability has 1 charge. This is a great talent as it supercharges one unit into a tank that otherwise could not be. In combination with the Shaman's heals, you can really keep a unit alive much longer than it otherwise would have. For Stonehoof Tauren, I have number 3 as Provoke. After connecting a charge, taunt nearby enemies. This talent I feel isn't really needed, as most of the time your Stonehoof Tauren will be in the front lines tanking enemy shots anyways, so there's no real need for the taunt. Number 2, I have Momentum. After connecting a charge, immediately charge a second time if possible. This one's pretty nice as it helps your Stonehoof Tauren reach the backlines of your enemy quite easily, which is right where you want your Stonehoof Tauren to be. For number 1, I have Pummel. After connecting a charge, stun the target for 3 seconds. This talent really helps you lock down priority targets and helps you win exchanges otherwise you might have lost without the stun. Number 3 for Warsong Grunts, I have Guard Duty. Remain at the deployed location until entering combat. Not too much to say about this one other than it's nice for stacking up some big pushes, but I feel the other 2 talents are a lot more useful. Next up we have Command. Nearby beast allies deal 30% additional damage. This talent, while being dex specific, is quite powerful, allowing you to gain extra value out of your beast decks. At number 1 I have Blood Pact. When a grunt dies, the other gains Bloodlust. This is just a good DPS increase, and as the grunts are pretty tanky already, you have a good chance of making use of this talent for a while. And finally, we have the Warsong Raider. At number 3, Sunder Armor. Damaging an armored enemy removes their armor. I find this talent to be a bit too situational to be consistently useful throughout a match, so it lands at just number 3. For number 2, we have Saboteur. Damaging a tower reduces its damage dealt by 50% for 3 seconds. This talent's great as it allows your pushes to last a lot longer. Your front line survives a lot longer, which means your back line survives a lot longer in order to DPS harder. Number 1, we have Demolitionist. Become a siege unit, ignoring troops. This talent completely transforms the unit. and having the fast tag attached to it is great for quick pushes on enemy towers. And alright, that's the end of the Horde units. If you're looking for the Horde leaders, then I'll have a video coming out soon which will be focusing on the leaders of each faction, so stay tuned. As always, thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos.